Hello everyone, this is Pooja DG, Assistant Professor, Department of Psychology, Kristu Jayanti College, Bangalore. Today we are going to discuss about interesting topic under cognitive neuroscience, that is anatomy of language. In the 1960s, the researchers started looking more closely at patients with language problem to learn how brain is helping us to understand, to use our languages. And at the same time, the psycholinguists also are more interested in how to understand a mix of psychology and linguistic. They are focusing on studying the mental process which is involved in psychology, like how we are able to think, how we are able to understand, and how we are speaking. The cognitive neuroscience is one such branch of psychology which combines these two approaches. So where it helps us to studying both how the brain works and how the mind processes the language. And also with the advanced tools like ERP recordings, even the brain imaging techniques, the scientists are able to learn much more about which part of the brain involved in language processing. And these tools have brought major progress in understanding how the brain supports language comprehension as well as language production. So here we are discussing about how brain understands language when we hear someone speak or when it is written in the text form. And also it also describes how the brain helps us express our thoughts and feelings by speaking or writing, and it allowing us to share meaning with the other people. So before understanding the concept of the language processing, that is how we are able to understand the spoken words and how we are able to read the written words, it is necessary to understand the anatomy of language. Can you, in the picture which is visible here, it says that the major parts which is responsible for the language processing. Okay. So they have studied a patient who has a condition called the split brain. Split brain is nothing but where the connection between the two brain hemispheres is damaged. And also they have conducted studies on the localized brain damage in specific areas, which has shown that much of our language processing happens in the left hemisphere of our brain. And this processing occurs in regions near a groove in the brain called Sylvian fissure. And scientists have learned a lot about how language is organized in the brain through the various techniques. It might include the cortical stimulation mapping, it include the brain imaging, and also it also include electrical or magnetic recording methods. All these, the old methods as well as the new cognitive neuroscience methods, helped us to understand the brain regions and the pathways which is involved in language processing more precisely. So we'll go one by one. So the parts of the brain involved in language are mostly found on the left side. And the several parts which is included in the language processing are, the first one is the Wernicke's area. This is the part which is located in the back part of the superior temporal gyrus and which helps in understanding the spoken and written language. So if we need to understand whatever is spoken by the other people, and if we are able to understand whatever it is written, so the Wernicke's area is very much important. And the next part is left anterior temporal cortex. And this is the area which helps us in understanding or in the processing the meaning of words and sentences. Whatever we are hearing and whatever we are seeing as a text, we need to give a meaning for that. So the left anterior temporal cortex is the one which helps us to process these meanings of words and sentences. And the next part is inferior parietal lobe. This inferior parietal lobe, it includes the two minor parts. One is supramarginal gyrus and another one is angular gyrus. The supramarginal gyrus, which is very important for linking sounds and words to their meanings. We know that we are understanding the language, so based on the sounds also. And we are able to link the words along with the sounds, and also we are able to link it with the meaning of the words and sentences. And the next part which comes under inferior parietal lobe is angular gyrus. This helps us to integrate information like linking the language with other functions like reading the maths and doing mathematics. And the fourth part which is involved in language processing is Broca's area, which is found in left inferior frontal cortex. You can see in the picture, and which helps in the crucial for producing speech and forming sentences. So if I'm giving lecture now means the Broca's area is helping for me. And if I need to answer someone means the Broca's area has to help me to produce the speech and produce the sentences. And the fifth part is left insular cortex. This is the region which supports speech coordination and helps process emotions related to language. So if we are able to understand the emotion, so which is behind in our language, so the left insular cortex is responsible for that. So these areas work together and are connected to form the left perisylvian language network, which surrounds the sylvian fissures. So this network enables us to understand the process and produce language effectively. So by this, we are able to understand the process of the anatomy of the language processing. So overall, they says that the left side of the brain is mostly responsible for language processing, but we cannot neglect the right side of the brain also, which also plays important role in certain aspects